Dear friends, we will see about the role of mass media in agriculture development. Mass media, there are different formats it's available, written, spoken and visual. It carry information from its source to the receivers. If you consider the receivers are readers, listeners, viewers, it depends on which type of mass media we are using. There are 4 types of mass media available. One is printed, the next one is spoken, then visual and combination of all these 3. The term mass media implies the large audiences. It reaches more number of people at a time. It's very difficult to communicate about the agriculture technology to the individual farmer, but it is more effective in enhancing more adoption rates. Mass communication is indirect and results in influencing the adoption of agriculture technology by the farmers. So, if we compare, the group communication often conveys the information to the farmers in groups. In the group communication, they have a direct contact with the individuals. Here, the group dynamics operates for achieving the high productivity. Group pressure also influences the individual to proceed into adoption practices. So, in such case, in the case of group dynamics or group communication, we will see about the commodity interest groups, self-help groups and youth groups are the good example for this group communication. Now, let us see about the commodity interest groups, CIGs. Farmers in India remain poor. They are not able to obtain better practices in spite of their hard work. They are not in a position to determine the prices for their own produce. The need of the hour is to establish a commodity groups, farmers interest groups and farmers federation, so that they can get confidence to fix prices for their own produce. Farmers commodity interest groups is a self-managed independent group of farmers with a shared goal and interest. The members work together to achieve this goal by pooling their existing resources, gaining better access to other resources and to share the resulting benefits. Commodity interest groups were promoted under extension reforms in village level. Block level teams will monitor the functions of these commodity interest groups. Now, we will see about the formation of commodity interest groups. Commodity interest groups should be promoted or mobilized for all major commodities. Here, the size of the farmers may be 20 to 25. The members should meet at least once in a month to discuss the activities and future course of action. Block Technology Team (BTT) and Farmer Advisory Council (FAC) shall monitor the functioning of CIGs on a regular basis. CIGs at village level should be federated at block level and subsequently at district level also. CIGs should maintain proper register and records like the commodity what they are having, the proceedings, savings and other accounts. Then we will see about the self-help groups. The self-help group SIG is an informal organization of 10 to 20 persons from homogeneous poorer section of the society. It is controlled and managed by the members. The regular saving contribution to corpus fund is eligibility to join the self-help group. The mutual trust is the spirit of the organization. It has its own set of rules and regulations. There is transparency and accountability in self-help group transactions. The SIGs are formed by the promoters like banks, NGOs, government departments and such departments like women and child development etc. There are various categories of self-help groups available like women self-help group and men self-help groups. What are the features of these self-help groups? Regular savings by the group members as the prime features of this self-help group. Transparency and accountability in self-help group transaction. Promoting agencies like banks, NGOs, government departments common interest cooperatives and corporate sectors, etc. They have additional benefits like credit linkage insurance and credit plan services. The other feature is self-help groups act as grassroots level agents for the development. Self-help groups are SHGs are the primary units of development process of the country. Now let us see about self-help group profile in India. The self-help group movement has been initiated in India with a view to facilitate poor rural women to avail bank credit. A pilot project for microcredit by linking self-help groups with banks was started. The Reserve Bank of India directed the commercial banks to actively participate in the linkage programs. Initially started as a microfinance institution movement, has now taken the form of women empowerment paradigm as a group approach to eradicate rural poverty. Now we will see about growth of self-help group in the country. So we are very glad to observe that Andhra Pradesh alone has 30.5% of the total self-help groups of the country. If you think of the lowest percentage, that comes to Punjab, that is 0.19%. The self-help groups growth is very low in states like Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, where the social environment is totally unfavorable to the rural women for their own empowerment. What is the need for self-help groups in India? It is a right approach to create self-employment opportunity so as to supplement the income and assets to the rural poor. It also provides the rural poor women to access the microcredit. It encourages the rural women entrepreneurship and rural women empowerment. Encouragement to minor irrigation, creation of self-employment opportunities and development of educational facilities in rural India are created with this group. Self-help groups also help in providing urban amenities in rural area to create new growth centers to take up investments in dairying, poultry, horticulture, farming, fishing, forestry, goatry, small and cottage industries. Self-help groups have achieved the expected results in income and employment generation activities. They have empowered rural women to some extent and enabled them to cross poverty line. It also enhanced their savings and investment levels. We will see about the characteristics of self-help groups. First one is homogeneous membership. Here in this category, the people from comparable socio-economic background will join together and form a self-help group. The next characteristic feature of the self-help group is no discrimination. There is no discrimination about the members based on caste, religion, political affiliations. Then third one is small group approach. It has 20 members so that members should not be too small. Then the fourth one is transparency in functioning. It provides mutual trust and mutual faith and confidence among the members. Thrift, this is the major characteristics of any self-help groups. This build a strong bond between the members. Next is set of bylaws. It indicate rules and regulations what should be followed by the members in the self-help groups. Then utilizing the savings for loaning. Members may be allowed to avail loan against their savings for emerging consumption needs, supplement their income for credit needs. How we can make the self-help group as a sustenance one? One is promotion of literacy among the members. If you create a literacy, the members will join together and go in the same direction. Second one is proper organization and management of the group. So here we have to train both leaders and self-help group members. Third one is leadership development. Here we create, identify and train the potential leaders. Fourth one is exposure cum learning visits. The members can be taken into some successful self-help group organizations and they can have first-hand exposure there. Fifth one is information empowerment. This is social, political, legal along with child care, nutrition and health and other activities like environment sanitation. So, for this effective training should be given. Then sixth one is technological interventions. These technological interventions we have to take care of both form and non-form activities because both are essential. Seventh is activate the groups in social mobilization. There are various cultural activities. You can use different modes like drama, puppet shows, song, skits, rally, etc. to convey the educational messages. Eighth one is promotion of income generating activities. Women must be guided and helped in choosing which enterprise she can take. They must have knowledge on the process of establishing that enterprises, management and marketing of the enterprises. Then next they have to evaluate and find out the impact study and they have to carry out the follow-up activities. The 10th point is organizational linkage development so that they can establish very good linkage with other organizations. Next we will see about youth groups. The Ministry of Human Resource Development during 1985 considers youth group in India as persons in the age group of 15 to 35 years. Youth forms nearly 1/3 of the total population in India. Rural youth constitute over 2.5 times of the size of the urban youth. So, we have to concentrate on this rural youth. Now, if you see the social profile of the rural youth, they follow the traditions and socializing structures. Urbanization, industrialization, migration, unemployment and the effects of mass media have affected the life and growth of the youth significantly nowadays. Now let us see the basic needs of youth people. What are the basic needs? Need for good physique, need for security and belongings, need for love and sympathy, need for fun and fellowship, need for achievement and competition, need for appreciation and recognition, need for new experience, need for sense of personal growth, need for spiritual development, need for sense of continuing learning are the basic needs for the youth. Now we will see about Nehru Yuva Kendras. It was initiated in India during 1972. Here one district youth center and 2 block centers were established. The coordinator is appointed at the district level. Organizing committees at 3 levels, that is center, state and district are established mainly to coordinate, advise and supervise the implementation of the program. Training for groups of rural youth engaged in various occupations in agriculture and allied fields are given mainly to increase their functional capabilities and to bring improvement in their efficiency and productivity. Vocational training programs in selected fields in which opportunities for self-employment are locally available and assisting the rural people in securing credit from nationalist banks and cooperative societies. Then NYKs also assist in running of other employment generating schemes like TRISOM of the Ministry of Rural Development. Mostly this is located at the district headquarters. Programs to the grassroots through a network of youth clubs and Mahila Mandals are being given. Now we will see about rural youth clubs. First organized in 1920s around Sriniketan in West Bengal by the workers of the Visva Bharati. In 1953-54 experiments were initiated to organize rural youth on the pattern of 4-H clubs in the USA. The planning, research and Action Institute at Lucknow was initiated the pilot youth club projects in Balia, Etawah and Saharanpur district of Uttar Pradesh. Similar programs were also started in some states like Punjab and Karnataka. What are the objectives of Rural Youth Club? There are many objectives. One is to lead a wholesome life, to develop cooperative attitude, to develop scientific outlook, to improve rural community, to appreciate dignity of labor, to recognize farming as a worthy occupation, to acquire scientific knowledge, to develop leadership talents, to serve as agents of changes, to make wise use of leisure time activities, to conserve natural resources, to participate in healthy recreational activities, to aspire for continuing learning. What are the different steps in organizing youth clubs? Step 1, study and grasp the village situation. Step 2, contact village leaders. Step 3, call a preliminary village meeting. Step 4, approach active youths and adult advisors. Step 5, call a meeting of active and adult advisors. Step 6, formation of club. Step 7, have an enrollment drive. Step 8, election of office bearers and club leaders. Step 9, adequate initial guidance. Then the extension programs for rural youth. These programs are mainly for the development of agriculture and rural areas or agencies. Youth programs must arrange various useful trainings related to modern agriculture practices. They are also involving the landless families and encourage them to undertake such programs. There should be provision for organized sports and cultural activities in youth program to make the youth healthy in body and mind. There should be also provision for literacy program including functional literacy in the youth program. The concept of mass media. Mass media refers to those which enable development agents or agencies to reach a large number of persons directly or indirectly with one exposure or a single source. Mass media channels are all those means of transmitting messages that involve mass mediums such as radio, television and newspaper and so on, which enable a source of one or few individuals to reach an audience of many. Mass media are the means or devices of communication used to reach large number of audience at a time. Mass media are the tools, technologies that facilitate dissemination of information and entertainment to large numbers. When we see the role of mass media, since the society are hierarchical and stratified, we have to go for the mass media. There are various classes, rich and poor people are there, so we have to go for the mass media. Impact of TV. TV has got its own impact as instrumental in imparting knowledge on agriculture. The SITE experiment, the satellite instructional television experiment was operation for a year during 1975-76. It's a pilot project was carried out in backward districts of Bihar, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Now, when we are going for the media, it induces or it motivates the people to go for the technology. Here we have to blend the technology with the media. Media should act as a facilitator because it just convey the message to the large group. In the media usage, blending of the traditional technology with the new is a must. We can use different modes of presentation that media. So the media is mainly used to create awareness among the people. So the message should be treated in such a way that it should create awareness. When we are using the media, we have to decide some priorities like what about the people, what are the message, from where and how we are going to convey. Then finally, we have to analyze the lapses in exposing the media to the people because the medium should be there and the farmers should have the affordability to reach the medium. So with this I conclude that the mass media and group efforts are much needed for improving the rural poverty and bring them to the higher level. Now we will see the steps to organize the youth club. Step 1, study and grasp the village situation. Step 2, contact the village leaders. Step 3, call a preliminary village meeting. Step 4, approach active youths and adult advisors. Step 5, call a meeting of active and adult advisors. Step 6, formation of the club. Step 7, have an enrollment drive. Step 8, election of office bearers and club leader. Step 9, adequate initial guidance. Hope you got all the points what I have explained. If you have any doubt, you go through the website, manage website, and you can clear the doubts. Otherwise, you can read the notes or booklets what they have given. Thank you very much.